Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are making herbal medicine that everyone can make in their home with a ton of ingredients that you likely already have. If you're new here, my name is Kristen. I'm an herbalist and I am here to help you learn how to bring plant medicine into your life in a safe and effective way. And today we are making Fire Cider. So in today's episode, we are going to cover the ingredients that are in Fire Cider and some of their benefits. I will show you how to make Fire Cider, and then I'm going to show you how to use Fire Cider to get the best effects when you have the cooties. Now, before we dive in, if you would like to follow along and get a deeper dive into the specific benefits of all the herbs that we're using today, I did put together a free PDF and you can download it from the description below. It has a full materia medica with detailed info on each of the herbs in the recipe for those who want precision. Now, if you're not familiar with Fire Cider, it's a vinegar-based tonic, and a tonic is just something that you can use safely every day, and it doesn't really have any contraindications. So Fire Cider really makes a good remedy for everyone in the family all year round, but especially during cold and flu season. Fire Cider is made with pungent, spicy, and aromatic culinary plants that are steeped in vinegar and sweetened with honey. So let's break down each of these categories of herbs so that we can get a broader understanding of what Fire Cider is going to do. So first we have our aromatic herbs. Now, aromatic herbs are just staples in the kitchen because they bring deep and rich flavors and aromas to our food, but they also pack pretty powerful medicinal benefits. Now, these are herbs that contain usually high levels of volatile oils, which are essential oils that are found in plants that help to protect them and attract pollinators. Now, volatile oils in general have a really relaxing effect on the soft muscles in our body, particularly the digestive system. That's why you often will see aromatic herbs paired with heavier foods to help with digestion. For example, pairing lamb with mint, or herbs like rosemary and thyme in our heavy fall meals, and even things like ginger and cardamom and turmeric in our rich East Asian meals. So aromatics are also going to play a role in digestion by relaxing the muscles in the digestive tract. They help our body process food more efficiently. They help to prevent bloating or discomfort. And whether you use them as part of your meals or as herbal remedies on their own, aromatic herbs are a really good way to support digestive health while also enhancing flavor. Now, a lot of aromatic herbs are also considered pungent. Pungent herbs on their own, though, are also often discussed in the context of heat and spice, and they have a unique ability to warm the body and stimulate various physiological processes. Now, you're probably familiar with pungent herbs like ginger and garlic and cayenne, but even members of the mint family like peppermint and lemon balm have pungent properties. Pungent herbs are especially beneficial for stimulating circulation. They help improve blood flow and oxygen delivery throughout the body. They will boost the metabolism. A lot of warming herbs can give your metabolism a slight boost that will aid in fat burning and energy production. And then they also will increase heat in the body. Like when you're feeling chilled, pungent herbs can warm you up, which make them really good for cold and flu season. And then finally, they also clear congestion. Pungent herbs will help to break up mucus and relieve congestion in the respiratory system. And additionally, a lot of pungent herbs have a lot of antimicrobial properties that make them useful for fighting off infections and reducing inflammation. Now, these herbs are commonly used in respiratory health remedies to ease cold and flu symptoms like sore throat and stuffy noses. And we're going to see that all of the herbs that we're putting in Fire Cider are very pungent herbs. Now, another key component of Fire Cider is vinegar. Vinegar, particularly apple cider vinegar, is the base of Fire Cider, and it offers its own, set of impressive health benefits. It's not only a natural preservative and an effective extraction medium for the herb's medicinal compounds, but it also is going to support a couple of bodily systems when consumed. And one of my favorite benefits of vinegar that I find so fascinating is its ability to reduce blood glucose spikes when taken with meals. And this is for people who have insulin resistance or are prone towards diabetic conditions, or just people who want to feel better in their body and have less blood sugar spikes and lows and less sugar cravings. Of course, there are more benefits to adding vinegar to our diet, but I really want to get into our recipe recipe. And so I'll just make a note that by combining vinegar with our pungent and aromatic herbs, Fire Cider itself becomes this really potent tonic that enhances digestion, it regulates blood sugar, and supports overall wellness. And now let's actually dive into the Fire Cider recipe and make this remedy. So to make Fire Cider, you are going to need a couple of things: onion, garlic, jalapenos or cayenne peppers, whichever ones you can find, horseradish root, ginger, vinegar, and honey. And we're going to start by prepping all of the plant material, peeling the outer layer of the onion, chopping it into large chunks, peeling and smashing or chopping the garlic cloves. We're going to peel and chop horseradish into smaller chunks. We're going to slice the pepper. I like to take the seeds out because I don't love too much spice, but feel free to leave them in if you and your family are spice fanatics. We're also going to slice the ginger. I know that I'm going to get some flack for not peeling the ginger, but I truly don't notice a difference. So I'm just going to leave all that stuff on the outside. And then we're going to just place all of our ingredients into a jar. Now I do have the exact measurements in grams and cups listed in the free PDF for you if you want to follow along precisely. Now I know I get a lot of comments about not using a kitchen scale when we're making medicine, which I'm totally cool with. The folk method is really awesome and it's really helpful. I personally, at this point in my herbal career, do really appreciate being able to make consistent herbal medicine so that when I make something really good, I can repeat it. But in general, this recipe works out to about half an onion, maybe 10 garlic cloves or so, about 3 inches of horseradish, about 3 inches of garlic, and about 2 or 3 jalapenos. Now, your first option is just to cover this and let it steep for the next 4 to 6 weeks, shaking it every day like a normal extraction. But I am personally a lazy and impatient herbalist, and I find that processing my tinctures just a little bit makes a much stronger and more effective herbal medicine. I'm actually going to add all of these ingredients to a blender and blend it up until smooth and then transfer that to another jar. And that's it. It's super easy. Of course, I'm going to label it so I don't forget what's in it. I'm going to write down my recipe. And then another thing that I'm going to do is give it a few hot water baths over the course of the next few days. The easiest way that I find to do this, especially when I'm making a lot of herbal medicine, oh my gosh, this is embarrassing, but it's actually just to stick it in my bathtub. This is where I get the hottest water in my house. And if I have a lot of extracts like what I have here, the easiest thing for me to do, sometimes I'll also leave my tinctures on the radiator in the cooler months. And again, just adding a little bit of heat, not enough to cook it, but just enough to warm things up a little bit, will actually help to speed up the steeping process. And that should take the steeping time from 4 to 6 weeks to 2 to 3 weeks. Now, I've been letting this sit for about 2 weeks, giving it some hot water baths, and now I'm going to strain it. Now, if you do blend your tinctures, it's really helpful and kind of crucial to have a mesh strainer. And I highly suggest, if you're making a lot of tinctures, to just get yourself a tincture press and thank me later. We are essentially juicing this plant material here, which is going to give it a much stronger punch and a much stronger medicinal effect. And the tincture press helps me get all of my liquid out and make sure that I don't leave any medicine behind. And then to this liquid, I am going to add 1 cup of honey, which is going to act as another layer of preservative to make this much more shelf stable. I do like to store this in the fridge in general, but it can live on the counter for a few days and it absolutely will survive a trip in the mail if you are sending this out to friends for the holidays. So Fire Cider is a big part of my flu and cold season care. I give this away a lot as gifts and to clients when they are sick. And there are so many ways to use it. So first off, you can just take it like a shot. If you can handle the heat, take a little shot glass, pour a little bit of Fire Cider, and take it like a shot straight up. Now, if you're like me and you don't love super spicy things, you're probably not going to enjoy this. But in a pinch, if you're really sick, it can really put some life back into your bones. Now, for general immune support or to help fight off a cold, you can just take 1 teaspoon of Fire Cider a couple of times throughout the day. And this is a really good way to boost your immune system during cold and flu season. If you do find the flavor a little bit too intense on its own, you can mix a tablespoon of Fire Cider into a small glass of water, and this is going to dilute the spiciness, but it still gives you all the benefits. And then of course there is my favorite way to use fire cider, and that is as an herbal hot toddy. You're gonna take 1 shot of fire cider, so about a teaspoon of honey and a squeeze of lemon and a dash of cayenne pepper for optional extra heat, and cover this with hot water, mixing it all together. And you can sip on this. It's super warm, it's comforting, it's gonna soothe a sore throat, it's gonna help to clear up some congestion, and it's my favorite thing to sip on when I have a cold or flu. So again, you wanna make this as soon as possible so that you have it when you are actually sick. Cold and flu season is no joke, and no matter how well we are taking care of ourselves, we all get the cooties from time to time, and fire cider is such a valuable tonic to have in our fridge and have stocked up for those times when we just get the sniffles or we are stuck in bed with the flu. And again, if you want to follow along with my exact recipe and learn a little bit more about the benefits of the individual ingredients in this recipe, make sure you get the free PDF in the description below. And yeah, subscribe, like, send a comment, and all right, that's it for me, friends. I love you. Bye.